Hello-y, and welcome to Let's Learn Lead Guitar Lesson 30, Part 2. Okay, so this is actually the third lesson of this lesson, the third part of this lesson, because I did the first part. You can check back in the playlist and have a listen to those. Have a look, listen, and learn. And then I had to do it again because this is, we're getting kind of deep into the woods here. But you know what? I have confidence in you because we have been learning along how to play lead guitar. So it may seem daunting and it may seem overly theoretical, but just don't worry about it. We're all having fun. We're supporting each other, and we're learning. We're becoming guitar gods, six-string samurai deities in the pantheon of axe-wielding shredders. So that's fun. Okay, so now what I was just playing today, what we're doing is we're exploring what is known as modal improvising, chord scales. So a mode is a displaced scale. So if you play a C major scale, and I've got a little refresher right here, get your screen cap ready. Here's a major scale. And you can disregard that. But this would be the root note. So that's the note that you're starting on. So if this were a C major scale, this would be a C note, which would be on the guitar, would be on the 6th string on the 8th fret. And so we're going to demonstrate that in a second here. And this is basically the do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do situation going on here. But you start it on the second note, and that's D. That's called a modal. That's a modal change, because the tonic, the starting note. See, I told you it was going to get theoretical, but don't get scared off. It's good to be familiar with these terms, even if we don't immediately understand it. God knows I don't understand it. Olivier avec deux L. Comment ça va, toi, monsieur, ce soir? Ah, c'est drôle, j'avais un rêve hier soir avec votre prénom. J'avais un ami, Anthony, qui est un réalisateur, et dans le rêve, il me demandait « Et tu connais Olivier comment ?» Et je ne savais pas en fait. C'était un rêve. C'était une fenêtre sur le monde, le sous-conscience. Okay, this is another thing. We're getting way off track here. What we're doing is we're learning lead guitar. Olivier, tu as ta guitare avec toi. D'accord? On est prêt? On t'attend? On y va. So if you start, so here's the scale right here. So this would be the normal C scale. So this is E, F, G, A, B, C. And so to the C major scale would be, oops, excuse me. This is kind of, I'm going to amp this up just a little bit. Okay, so right here. There's the C note right there. And then we go. No, what was it? There's that Beatles song with that part in it. I think it's from their like sort of post-Sgt. Pepper's pre-White Album period. Why can't I think of the tune? Okay, anyone who knows that tune, write it in the comments, please. And when you're in the comments, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to give a little thumbs up or a little heart, depending on where you are viewing it. And don't forget to share with your friends and family. They'll no doubt be delighted. So, this is the C. So we start here, see? Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. But if we were to start on the D, that would be a mode starting on a different a different mode starting on a different tonic, and each of these modes has a name, and we'll get to that in a second here. So that would sound a bit like this. So yeah, you can see, you can hear the difference or not in that. Now, if you start on the second note, the second tonic of the scale, it's called the Dorian mode. Or if you start on the root note, it's called the Ionian mode. If you start on the second note, it's called the Dorian mode. If you start on the third note, it's called the Phrygian mode. If you start on the, what would that be? 1, 2, 3, 4, fourth note, it would be the Lydian mode. If you start on the fifth, it's called the Mixolydian mode. If you start on the sixth, it's called the Aeolian mode. Aeolian is what they call windmills in French. Fun fact. And if you start on the seventh note, it's called the Locrian mode. And each of these modes in the scale of C, using the key of C, goes well with certain chord progression. And we'll get to that in just a second. But I'm wondering, when I read these, I want to do some research and find out where these names come from, what they refer to. Because, like, when I hear Ionian, I think of a ionic column. And then when I think of a Dorian, I think of Doric column. And when I think of Phrygian, I think of those funny curved hats. That's part of the French culture. Marianne, she wears one of these Phrygian caps. Lydian, I don't know, Lydia was hanging around. Mixolydian, Lydia was mixing it up. Aeolian, we already mentioned his windmill. And Locrian, that sounds the most Lord of the Rings of the bunch. So anyway, with the C, Ionian mode, and that's just C major 7. Well, you know what, we'll just skip over this. We don't need, there's no way we're going to memorize it. And it comes up in this next one. So get your screen cap ready. This is what I was just playing and what we will be playing. All right. So you see here, the first chord, there are 4 chords in this sequence here, and they are C major 7. I hope you screen capped it, which is like this. I just realized I just wrote it down wrong. Let me fix that real quick. Okay. Annoying. Okay, so for C major, ignore the black dots, follow the pink dots, okay? That's a C major. It's like a C, but you're just missing this note right here. And then A minor 7, which is pretty easy, because A is like this, really basic chord. And then here's an A7, this is an A minor, so you just take out that, and you have an A minor 7. And then the D is similar, so you've got a D here, you got D7, you got D minor. D is such a fun chord, isn't it? It's so nostalgic from the Summer of Love. But so what you do is you take the D, you drop it down to a 7, and then you drop it down to a minor. There's your D minor 7. And then the G7 is this one. It's like a G, you know? But you're taking this note and shifting it back 2 half steps, and that's what transforms it into a 7th. All right, so now we're going to be playing that chord sequence, and what I did was originally I just played it 1 chord per measure. It sounded a bit like this. But to follow the tablature, this is too fast for me. So what I did was I doubled up the chords with my DAW, my digital audio workstation. So I don't even know if I could follow this with the... Yeah, see, it's switching too quickly. So I doubled up the chords, and that's why I think I'm going to split this part 2 of the lesson, into a couple of separate parts as well, because to get through this, we're all going to need to practice. We're gonna have to dedicate ourselves. We're going to have to take it seriously, not so seriously, having fun, of course. And so this again, you already took a screen cap of this. This is what we're going to be playing. This is, you see, these are the scales, the Ionian scale in C, just straight out there. And then the next chord is a A minor 7, so it's the Aeolian mode. You see? And then, and so forth. And then the D minor 7 is a Dorian mode. So what it's doing is that these modes match most appropriately with certain different chord sequences. You know, so C major 7 for Ionian, D minor 7 for Dorian, E minor 7 for Phrygian, F major 7 for Lydian, and so forth. Okay, we don't really need to know that now, but if you do really want to know the nuts and bolts of that theory, be sure to leave a comment in the comments, and while you're at it, don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and check this out. So for the first part of this lesson, I made this document here. Woo! Look at how nice that is. I found this website that you can generate these tablatures. It's called tab-maker.com. I recommend it. And then to generate these tabs, I went to a website called guitarchalk.com. Highly recommend it as well. Anyway, what I'm going to do is after this lesson, like I did for the first part of this lesson, I'm going to upload the backing track, this wonderful, gorgeous backing track, which you can hear right here in a moment when I have everything all queued up. Okay, so you're going to be able to download this backing track. And if you have a DAW, a digital audio workstation, you can loop it yourself. But I think I'm going to extend it out. The little loop right now is about 25 seconds, but I'll double it up, so multiply it so that it goes to about 3 minutes, and then you can do whatever you want with that. High quality MP3 download, maximum quality MP3, and the tablature of the lesson that we're doing today, and also the chord forms. So you can get all of that just by following the link that will be up shortly after I publish this. So be on the lookout for that, and get your downloading digits ready. So, as I told you, I doubled this up, and now we're going to try to follow with this tablature. The first part of it follows the scales, those different modal scales directly, and then the second part of it mixes up those scales so they aren't sequential. The notes aren't the do re mi fashion, but trying to make an interesting, unique melody line. So let's try that out. How it does sort of all goes together, and that's the last note, but I like this one better. So go through that again. You see, we need to practice this till it becomes fully natural. But this is all based on what we've already learned together. Now here's the other part. You see it's a little bit more melodious. And here's that weird note again. Should we try that again? Okay, we'll start in on the second part. was pretty good, huh? It's fun too. Oops. All right, we've gone kind of long, but anyway, you get the idea. So be on the lookout for those downloads. Oh, and before I go, I wanted to give a shout out to our newest friend of the family, of the Guitar God family, and that is Racer XJS, also known as John Spears 903. And he is obviously, or if you look at his page, he's got, which I recommend that you do and subscribe to him as well. He's got a bunch of, it looks like virtual car racing videos. Seems to be a virtual car racing enthusiast, if not a real car racing enthusiast. And then he has one music video which is called Hot Sexy Mamas by Trace Adkins. Country. So it's all good. So, but the thing is, now I've noticed a lot of subscribers coming on board and joining our family here, our Guitar God gang. But I can't see everyone unless you have a public YouTube channel. I guess, I don't know if I think the default is probably, or maybe when you're setting up your channel, they ask you, I don't know, I didn't years ago, I have no idea, maybe things have changed. Anyhow, I thank everyone who's come and joined the Guitar God gang, but I can't see you all. So please, leave a comment. Let us all know that you're there with us, with your axe in hand. And while you're down there leaving a comment, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and leave and share this video with all your friends. They'll be delighted to learn lead guitar with us as well and become part of the gang, practically. And voila! Look for the downloads in the comments below. And I thank you all for coming aboard this odd pirate ship of musicality, melody, and Aeolian modes. Thank you. Ciao for now. Bisous.